Hi, this is Luke, and welcome to Dayton Gaming, etc. This is a podcast where we talk about everything in the tabletop gaming hobby and life in general. From natural ones to natural 20s, we cover it all. Welcome, Fair Adventures. Today we're going to discuss what I enjoy about the tabletop gaming hobby from the crafting point of view. The crafting side of the hobby is probably what I enjoy the most, from cutting the miniatures off the sprue to assembling them and then kit bashing them if inspiration strikes. I saw a TikTok the other day where a mini painter used some floral wire and crimped it to make it look like lightning and painted it to look even better. And it was amazing, the simple addition that can make to a mini that can make it just pop. Even adding a little floral tufts and basing can really just make it a wonderful figure. I'm still learning when to stop painting and kit bashing and when enough is enough. Like the saying, sometimes less is more. One of my earliest memories of crafting in a third dimension was with my father put together a farm board for us, and a farm board is just another word for a model train board. I spent hours playing on that board, driving vehicles down roads and driving the tractors and combines to the field for planting and harvest. One of the coolest things that he made for the board was a Mayan addition. He made it from a piece of plywood and cut a hole in the top of it, then used chicken wire to form the ramps and the roads down into a pit. I believe Mom then helped him put several layers of paper mache over it, and then they covered it in a rocks texture spray paint. There are many miles of put on those wheels of those little miniature vehicles going from the mine to the farm and then to town. My older brother and I also made some war boards for our army men out of old styrofoam, cutting holes and divots into it and creating trenches and holes where explosions had gone off. Sometimes we ran red Christmas lights under the styrofoam and into the craters, covering them in old pillow stuffing to simulate fire. Occasionally, stuff actually caught fire. Also, growing up, we made weekly trips to our local library, and I found some books on making dioramas and castles out of just general household items. Needless to say, all these things combined started a lifelong love of building and creating worlds. One of the most enjoyable things about the hobby is just being able to have a pile of several random objects that don't have any connection, but with some glue and imagination, a building or a terrain can just appear. I'm very blessed to be able to partake in this hobby, and beyond blessed to have a wife that puts up with it. Speaking of my wife, she took me to the Pirate Weekend at the Southern Indiana Renaissance Festival in Seymour, Indiana this past weekend. It was a really cool experience, and it was the second Ren Faire that I've ever been to, the first being in Ferdinand. However, we took our daughters with us, and I will say they did pretty good, but towards the end when it was warm, there was a couple fussy moments, but together overall, it was an amazing time. The Ren Faire had stuff for all ages, and all the shops were amazing, and they were selling about everything you think of, from meat horns to swords, real and fake, and just all manner of jewelry. It was really just an awesome experience. We even had some friends there that were selling some tea of all flavors. And the food. Oh goodness, the food was amazing. From barbecue to the turkey legs to what they call a pork sickle, which is effectively a pork chop on a stick just covered in seasoning. Chef's kiss. And there were programs and shows like the High Wire act. It was amazing. He rode a bicycle across this high wire. It was insane. He brought a chair up there, sat down and balanced on a chair, and I don't do well with heights. I commend him very highly on that. There was a sword and fire swallowing. That guy was ridiculous. He was awesome, but it was just very dangerous, but very cool. I'll leave that to the professionals. And then there were the acts that roamed around the crowds. Shout out to the Midwestern Mermaid and her partner's game store in Bloomington, Indiana, the Common Room. It is at 223 South Pete Ellis Drive in Bloomington. They have a great selection of games and models and for trading card games and everything in between. I picked up my latest Warhammer there, Adeptus Sororitas. It's really a well-handled store. You can order anything you want from there. And they will hook you up. And then my second shout out goes to Darkwoods Apothecary, that is owned by my friends Kyle and Megan Gregory. Some of the finest tea selection you can ever have. Beautiful tent. They're starting to do artwork on the outside of the tent. very beautiful, and the setup inside is immaculate. It is really just a cool experience just even showing up to the tent. Also, the pickle pirate. This guy was hilarious. He had like a whiskey barrel cut in half, and you could pop it open, and inside of it there was several 5-gallon drums of pickles, and he also had beef jerky and all the innuendos you could have. But it was relatively cheap, but it was just a really interesting individual. I'll put all the links to these wonderful people down in the doobly-doo. Another thing I noticed about the Ren Faire and like convention crowds in general, the amount of inclusion they have for the younger crowd. Just walking into the fair, my daughter was greeted by this gruff pirate who went, "Arr, what are you doing here, lass?" And I was just talking to her. Then he handed her a gold doubloon, a metal one. It was really cool just including her, and that just made her day right off the bat. And then throughout the whole entire thing, there was at least 10 other individuals, and we came back with a pile of trinkets, and it was just a really wonderful thing, and everything just made it more in depth for her, and she just really enjoyed it all. Uh, a similar experience happened in Gen Con when me and my wife took her. It was on the Saturday of 2023, and the amount of cosplayers that stopped to talk to her when she came up to them, they get down on one knee and just talk to her and answer all the questions that they could for her, and it was just really a very beautiful experience. And I knew it was cosplayers and all this, but she met those characters that she liked, and it was really cool. And she hasn't really stopped talking about it, but that's cool. She's having so much fun, and to watch her be able to have that connection there has just been an absolutely beautiful thing. It's been wonderful. It was truly a heartwarming experience. But back to the Ren Fair, it was awesome. It was held at a farm in Seymour in Indiana, and the venue was beautiful. Just a lot of shade, which was really nice because yesterday was hot. It was so hot. But they kept it well. They had plenty of areas you could buy drinks, a lot of shade, which was wonderful. Water running everywhere, and it was just beautiful to have that trickling sound in the background. It really was just a wonderful day to spend with my family. I'm very grateful to have those. Back to the crafting. Sorry about that. That just went off on a tangent. It was just, it's a very cathartic experience for me, being able to take nothing and make something. It scratches an itch. I don't know really better way to explain it. But it's just sitting there and then making the terrain and then actually seeing it then on the table is just awesome. And then moving the minis around with it and with their basing. And I'm working on finishing up an army here, Stormcast Eternals, and they're beautiful models. I just hope I did them justice with the paint job. I have like a gold overbrush on them, and they're all shiny, and all their blades are like pure black. And it's finally completed painting an army. That's my first one there, so I'm pretty excited about that. That all the models I have for it are painted, assembled, and painted. Now looking back on that, it's finally got one done. It was a wonderful sense of completion. And Uncle Adam on Tabletop Minions had a video just a couple weeks ago about just finishing a project, just getting it done. That's the one thing I've struggled with that, is having what they call the gray pile of shame, referring to miniatures and or terrain. And I'm just set limits for myself to just get it done, finish this project before I open up another. It's hard to do that because you get so excited. You get new minis in the mail. You're like, hey, I'm going to get these all assembled and painted. The other minis are sitting over there. It's like, hi, we're over here. Yep. And we're going to sit here and collect dust. Awesome. Working on getting better with that. It's really been an experience learning how to delegate my time between my family, my hobbies, and it's really been a learning experience. But It's awesome because my oldest daughter, Valerie, she is learning how to paint miniatures. She has several that I've got for her, and she has her own paints, own paint brushes, and her own little mat that she paints on, and she absolutely loves it. When I'm up here painting miniatures upstairs, she's right there beside me doing it as well. And it's just really been a fun experience to getting to pour into her and talk to her about life and stuff while we're sitting there painting miniatures. And it's just been an honor to be their father and for my wife to be there with us. And I'm just a truly, truly blessed man. And let me know what your favorite thing is about the crafting side of the hobby. And I think that's about all we have for this week. If there's any topics you'd want me to cover, just let me know in the comment section. And until next time, my fellow adventurers, I'm truly richer for knowing you. Goodbye.